Welcome today to Calling Out with Susan Pinsky. My question for the universe is, where is Wendy Williams? We're wondering. And I had the opportunity to see something that Harvey Levin did with TMZ, a documentary about Wendy Williams and her sort of incapacity to be in the human race after years of being an amazing host of a very popular television. She just sort of dropped off the universe, and we all were sort of questioning or wondering or praying for her and wondering how she was doing. I saw this documentary and a great podcast called Two Angry Men, and it was Harvey Levin and my friend Mark Geragos talking about her
Imprisonment,
yes. Okay, so anyways, I brought my husband in today, Dr. Drew Pinsky,
right,
because, well, actually, I wanted to say her authority over her life. And the people that are watching her are imprisoning her, basically. My husband, Dr. Drew, is here to give us his medical intuition on this because he was on her show for many, many years. He was friends with Wendy. She analyzed his shoes. She loved him. Like, you know, if I was dead, I think there would have been something going on between the two of them. And yeah, she
funny.
was one of those kind of people. And she just like showed her love and care for him. And then all of a sudden she vanished. And we acknowledged the fact that she may have had some substance abuse issues. But it was just a mental incapacity that we thought maybe she was dead. We didn't know. So this week there was some really interesting information that came out through Harvey Levin and Mark Geragos that I saw. And I said, you know what, let's have a psychic medium look into it and have the medical direction of my husband to say, what really is happening there. I wish her only the best, and I don't want to make fun of her. I have asked Drew several times over the last 3 years how she's been doing. And I was just, I'm dumbfounded by the whole situation. So anyways, we're also going to bring in Mark Geragos. He's supposed to be logging in right now. I
can tell my stuff while we're waiting for Mark.
Exactly.
I'm happy to do that because I got thoughts.
Right. So if you go to Two Angry Men, you can see the Wendy Williams controversy there. And I'm just going to say, Mark, if you're out there, get your ass on the Zoom.
He's here. He's coming in.
Okay. Let's introduce him then. Hello, Mark Geragos. He's a professional. Okay, I shouldn't worry, but I know how these things go, and we'll get him on here. So I also have Eddie Connor. He's a clairvoyant, intuitive, psychic medium from eddieconnor.com. And he's going to give us his insight from a numerology standpoint and a psychic mediumship view into Wendy Williams' mind, or what her life, I guess. Hi, Mark. Are you there?
I am. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to see you when I see you. I am here with with Drew, Dr. Drew Pinsky from Ask Dr. Drew. This is Mark Geragos from Two Angry Men podcast, which is really good. It got a 5-star from Bill Maher and me. So that means something, because I don't listen to much outside of my own show, but
I like that Mark is at the airport and he's still dropping in on your show. That is remarkable. And thank you for doing that, Mark.
You think I'm going to turn down Susan and
Yeah, I know. We both know better than we both know way better than neither Paulette nor Susan do we turn down for any sort of
We're dueling grandparents these days. But anyways, Eddie Connor is here too, so he's going to tell us a little bit what he thinks. So Drew seems to be anxious to get started with this conversation because he does know Wendy very well, and take it away.
And Mark, I'm sort of pissed you guys didn't call me, because I've got some very clear ideas about this, because I know Wendy. Here, let me give you my full thought, okay?
Please tell me.
So we know that she had a cocaine issue. She would always talk about it, and she would talk about it as, I had this thing. And whenever she would say that, I would cringe, because I knew that there was more to be done. She never really got in recovery. And there would be a day when something would come. It evidently came. Then she developed this cognitive decline, right? That they were calling frontotemporal dementia. That she never actually had the features that I associate with the frontotemporal dementia. But to be fair, it can be a protean kind of a syndrome. It's kind of a catch-all like Alzheimer's later. But okay, maybe she did have it. That's still a possibility. She may have had it. But frontotemporal dementia does not get better. It does not clear the way she clearly has cleared. In fact, it is inexorably progressive, with lots of weird hallucinations and things going along with it. Now, a lot of us saw the videos of her acting strangely in the documentary about her. And I was looking at that and going, wow, that's odd. She's de-repressed. Her frontal lobes aren't functioning. Maybe this is alcohol. Could this all be alcohol? And there are two ways it could be alcohol. One is they do develop a shutdown of their frontal lobes. They can develop a Wernicke's type syndrome or a Korsakoff syndrome or just a general cognitive decline. But she also looked to me like she had liver disease. She had muscular wasting, and her eyes were sort of big. That all looks like liver to me. And liver disease can present with bizarre encephalopathies. Bizarre. And with abstinence, they clear. So does many of the alcohol-related brain injuries. So it could have been both. So my guess is there is something going on here with alcohol. The family jumped in and said she's a goner for whatever reason. We really don't know what happened there. And she got better the way people do get better if they're properly treated. So at the core here, this looks to me like a medical misadventure on top of a legal misadventure.
You know, that's so interesting, because you and I talked maybe a year ago about, because I was asking you that I have had the observation, at least anecdotally, that a lot of people who have had severe alcohol problems and then quit, that the recovery is just astonishing a year later.
Dramatic.
Like nothing I've ever seen. And I've seen it with a number of lawyers, frankly, that I know that ended up having long lives afterwards and very productive.
Yes.
And so it's interesting to me that you have diagnosed it as that. And I don't know if diagnosis is the right term, but
surmised.
Surmised, because God knows those who don't know. I don't want to get Drew in trouble with diagnosing somebody from a third party in California. In California, they'll come right after it. But is it the potential I guess, legal implication of this, that somebody took that misdiagnosis and then applied the conservatorship. And mind you, when I was doing the podcast, all I could think about is the discussions you and I have had for years about the difficulty in getting conservatorships, God forbid if you don't have money, or all of the failings of the Lanterman-Petrus Act, which we've had this ongoing discussion for decades, right?
Yes, and we used to discuss it in the setting of Britney Spears, like, which is what I would say was like, okay, they saved her life with it. She's now gotten better. I can walk out this door and immediately say 10 people that need conservatorships more than Britney Spears.
Yeah, but how do you lock somebody like this down for so long without internet or any kind of vacation?
They could. Let me just tell you that the hepatic encephalopathies. First of all, maybe she was sneaking alcohol and they were freaked out about that. That's a possibility.
Or drugs or whatever.
And number two, hepatic encephalopathies can be wild and bizarre. And so they may have had to kind of really contain her for a while, and then it went too long, too far. And I don't know, there's something's wrong medically here. I'm just telling you. Something
is what I don't understand, because when I talked to her, she was spot on. I mean, she was responding. I mean, I don't know if you watched it, Drew, but she was having no trouble tracking. She was answering appropriately.
She looks a lot better. She sounded a lot better from what I could hear.
I just thought...
I would say, look at her muscle mass. If her muscle seems to be coming back, because I haven't seen any pictures of her lately, that tells you that the liver is... And liver this is back to your point about the massive recovery with abstinence. Liver, provided you don't get cirrhosis, which a certain percentage of alcoholic liver disease, not all, goes to cirrhosis, then it's an inexorable decline. Then you need a liver transplant. But if you just have the fatty liver stuff, it recovers completely, 100%. And so she may be one of those lucky people. Now, I worry if that was her alcoholism, that needs more treatment.
Right.
That also needs more treatment.
Forever.
She needs to get serious about it.
But there's people out there that can help her. But the question is, why is she locked down? What is the legal system doing to entrap this woman in her little cell of life? Like she can make a phone call, but she can't accept a phone call. She can't take visitors. I mean, I don't know, maybe visitors came and she can't remember them because she's on a memory thing, or they're telling her that, or it just seems so weird. It's like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. It's kind of freaky.
Well, I hate to be the Debbie Downer cynic, but I always, and we talk, Drew mentioned Brittany, when there's that much money involved, that's when you get the legal system in, because unfortunately, people get paid. And with people getting paid, it has a kind of inertia that is created.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drew, you better not do this to me.
Well, Mark,
that would be all different. Different reasons.
Wait, Mark's on my side.
But Mark, you need to retain somebody else. You need to retain the attorney-client privilege in our conversations about Susan. I'm just saying, we'll have to keep that locked down for now.
Mark, I get you, right?
I get you. I got to jump and catch the plane, but I wouldn't have missed this. Thank you guys.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about this. And by the way, if you or Harvey needs me to kind of sort through stuff, I hope you'll call, because I really do care a lot about Wendy. Susan is right. We were very friendly. And the fact that this happens to her is A, mortifying to me, and B, I've had no contact with her since.
And before you go, Eddie's going to tell you your numbers are really cool. I've never met I have met a one, but you are a number one, just so you know.
Yeah, just really quick, Mark, you're a life path 1, which means leadership. Leadership is traditionally the number for the male in male leadership. And you're born in a number 22 year, which is a master number. You're here to do things for the planet, to uplift humanity. But what 22 breaks down to is 4, which is law and order. You are literally doing what you were born to do for a living as a leader, born on a number 5 day, which is continue to enrich the community by bringing information and justice.
Yeah. And I'm a 22 too, so that's why we like each other.
That's our kind of mind meld. I love it. I love the connection. Bye, you guys.
Have you done me before?
We'll give you more. We'll give you more later when you have time.
I need to get mine.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
1958.
I'm I am so grateful to have him to pop in and help us with this topic because I like to know a little more from a psychic medium what we don't know and what he feels and what he don't. Yeah, Drew, we're not going to do your psychic reading
before I leave.
Right
I have to leave.
This is so
Dude,
good.
Wait, he's got a good number
I guess I have to pay the guy with a psychic analyzation before he leaves.
What happened?
This is so
I'm also at 22. The three of us.
Literally this year, your focus is 22. So you're going to continue as
It is his focus is
That is my 22 focus over here.
And just for fun, Susan's a life path 4, born on a 4-day, and Dr. Drew is born on a 4-day. So there's the match there. And then
Who knew?
You're a life path 9, which is the highest single digit you can be. It's spirituality, connection to source, but the imbalance of that. And this is where Wendy comes in. Wendy's a 9 life path and a 9 birthday, which means she will get stuck in paralysis.
Oh my gosh.
Mentally, emotionally, and it's addiction driven.
Oh wow. I'm glad I'm not that one.
So it's
Oh
highs
God,
and
I'm
lows.
so glad.
But this year, you're born in a 5-year, which is
God.
the beautiful people number. And you bring beauty in and you enrich the planet. As a person who helps people end their addictions and start a whole new life, teaching them the rules to how to do that, and then you continue to enrich the planet too, like your buddy the 22.
It's true. And you know what? I
Thank you.
stopped my addictions this year too. So, and honestly, like I'm very supportive of anybody who has an addiction problem because there is help out there and you can stop drinking and you can stop doing drugs and there's a lot of other things too that you can stop that are addictive. And I have found, but except for being addicted to me, which my husband is.
Yeah,
so
she doesn't want me to stop that addiction.
keep that addiction. But if you want to know more about
His breast.
Making sure I'm still here is what she's checking for.
if you want to know about how to get free help, go to AA.com or just find an AA meeting near you. It's free. NA,
You can Zoom
SAA,
right in
There's
for
all
the
and
codes,
everything's all
Al-Anon.
Zoomable now,
Yeah.
so you don't have to go find a meeting if you don't want to go and be called out in your community. But it's really magical. So more about that later. But also, I want to bring in somebody else who's sort of an expert on or who's been following Wendy before you go, Drew. I don't know if you're.
I got 10 minutes.
Okay, he's got 10 minutes, but I want to. Oh, where'd my paper go?
I was so angry. Oh, I took it for my birthday.
Here's his birthday stuff on the back. Okay, so she is an expert on this. She is an award-winning journalist, Brit3 on X. And Brittany, welcome to the show. We really appreciate your time. Does any of this stuff sort of ring true for you, like from what you know about Wendy Williams?
Yeah, some of it, I can speak on. You guys were talking about the medical condition. Well, one thing you have to also remember, she also has Graves' disease. So on top of the other things, as far as related to the alcoholism and the drug abuse, it's also coinciding with her Graves' disease. And I believe that
let me, Britt, I'm going to interrupt you. Graves' disease is like saying she has acne. These days, I know she made a lot of it, but that was her way of hiding her alcoholism, frankly. And the Graves is a nothing. It's a zero thing. It's these days.
It sounds terrible though.
It's nothing.
Graves' disease.
Now
Well,
she has Graves
medication is what I was
No, there's
speaking on.
no.
Is that what makes her eyes big or
No,
whatever?
the eyes, the Graves ophthalmopathy, which is the eye thing she has. There are some medicines that you've seen those commercials on TV for the Graves' eye disease, but these things have no side effects.
That's not going to make
emotionally,
you incapacitate you to the point where they have to put you in a lockdown unit.
No.
The backstory of some of her other health conditions that doesn't have anything to do, but a lot of people wondered why her eyes were bugged out. A lot of people didn't see the episode when she live on the stage. So there was a lot of things that was starting even before things came out. So I'm just giving, some other things. So back to her.
Thank you for that.
No problem. Her current health state. So one of the things that's being said, and just regarding the conservatorship, in a recent documentary with TMZ, it was stated that.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, keep going. She's made a technical problem. Keep going.
Okay.
I really want to hear what you have to say. I'm hanging on to every word here because I feel like you know something. So tell us, please.
It was stated in a recent documentary with TMZ that she was placed in a conservatorship due to the abuse of funds. And it was also some financial disregard as far as funds go. And as a result, Wendy stated that her son actually had access to her account and he was misusing her funds, making rather large sums of money. And that alerted Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo Bank is actually how she ended up in the conservatorship, because when they noticed these large sums of money and it was coming from a few different, people, Wendy also stated that that was not the only person that was misappropriating her funds. And so there were more than one, transaction that alerted Wells Fargo. And as a result, they tried to contact Wendy. When they were not able to get in direct contact with her, then they started the process of the conservatorship. So that's actually how.
Oh my God, the bank started it?
Yeah.
The bank started it? They initiated it? Oh,
This
terrible.
is disgusting.
It's awful.
This is disgusting. I mean, she needs medical care and she needs help from her own group of
Now, let's take the most charitable.
She must have a lot of money.
But let's take the most charitable. Let's take the most charitable view possible, which would be that she was behaving strangely, and maybe it was her in some altered state doing it, and they saved her from themselves. Maybe, but boy, there's going to have to be a lot of evidence for that because it sounds like it was coming from all multiple sources. And Wendy is not someone who I've never known her to lie ever, right? Now, she can confabulate if her brain isn't working right, but she is not a liar.
No, she wears her heart on her sleeve, for sure.
Yep.
And then
she was out of control for some reason.
So it was also stated that, yes, at one point, she was having a debilitating health conditions due to alcoholism. And in the documentary that was on Lifetime, we were all able to see that there were a lot of, underlying conditions that people did need to step in and start taking care of her financially, physically, and emotionally. So it was a lot of things. However, the reason why Wendy has been going on a press tour right now with her niece, Alex Finney, who is also a journalist, is because Wendy's health has increased. The care facility that she's in, which you guys had mentioned, the memory care facility, a lot of those people that are in there are in their 70s and 80s and 90s. So Wendy has,
I know.
And Wendy has complained several times, like, I can't even interact with normal people because these people are not even in the capacity to have regular conversations with me. I can't have lunches with them. Won't allow me to have lunch with my family or friends. I can't have lunch or even talk to people. Wendy says she can't even go outside. Within the last month, she had only been outside maybe once or twice. She does not have her iPad. She does not have her laptop. They took in her a phone that has all of her contacts in it. The only phone that she does have, she can call out, but nobody can call her. So if she doesn't have a number memorized or wrote down, she's not even able to talk to people. And so
she has memory problems.
And Britt, is anybody rushing to get this into the courtroom? It seems like it would be kind of an emergency.
It sounds like after this TMZ conversation, they...
Go ahead. Let's see what Britt says. Yeah.
So recently, very recently, I mean, within the last week, Wendy has signed the document to particularly end her conservatorship. So her niece, Alex Finney, has become the spokesperson for her because legally, Wendy cannot mention her guardian's name because of legal reasons. So her niece, Alex Finney, has been on the front line as a spokesperson. So anything you see, she's done interviews with the Breakfast Club recently. She did an interview with Don Lemon and several others. She legally cannot say her guardian's name. But so Alex Finney, her niece, is going, on the front line and giving us kind of the front-hand experience of what Wendy's going through. Even in the TMZ documentary, they were filming her through her window. So she had to guide them to figure out the building was the right one because they could not have access. They couldn't get any cameras in there.
I mean, she's smart enough to do that.
This is so weird.
I know.
And really the sad thing for me is this gives a black eye to guardianships generally. And there are people, again, out here on the streets that need them. It's going to decrease the probability of people that need them get them. It's just terrible.
And another thing about the guardianship, in the legal documents that TMZ obtained, they also said that the whole point of her getting a guardianship was to restrict as much independence as she possibly could have. So the question is, why is it so intense for Wendy, as opposed to other things? She's exhibiting that she can take care of herself. She can bathe herself. She can feed herself. She can make calls. She can do interviews.
It's a
Those
hospital.
are the things. And so it's not making sense.
Right. Listen. How did you? I'm just curious how you got involved with this story, because you're doing a great job of presenting it. Did you just sort of get interested, or do you have a relationship with her or somebody in her life?
No. So, as I am a Black woman in media myself, the platform that Wendy created opened the doors for several people that look like me. And I may not agree with the way she goes, conducts her interviews or goes about her research, but there wouldn't be things like the room, there wouldn't be things like the neighborhood talk. The style of interviewing, the style of research, the style of captivating an audience is what Wendy is known for. And I have respect for her. So when I see, it was just like the Free Britney movement, how could I not be compelled to want to bring justice and light to something that I simply feel like is not fair? And as a journalist myself, Wendy is very respected in her craft. That doesn't mean, it's just like when somebody falls down, you don't kick them when they fall down. You try to help them. And I just believe that. And sometimes people aren't in the space to ask for help. And when they are, we just have to give them grace. And I just feel like Wendy is deserved grace. When everything happened with her marriage kind of crumbling apart, what happened for me is she decided to make herself the hot topic. And that's when I got respect. If you're going to expose and talk about everybody else's junk, at least have the accountability for yourself. And she did that. So I feel like
yes. Listen, I got to run, Brittany, but you are so spot on. And that, again, that's that abject honesty that I am accustomed to her having.
Right.
And number two, I hope you get to meet her one day, because you will, she's more than you imagine, even, I suspect. So I hope that she appreciates what you're doing, and that you get a chance to meet her in person one day.
So do you want to hear what Eddie has to say really quick before you go, or do you?
That's my alarm.
He's got to go to work.
He's got a haircut.
But I'll give you 2 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Brittany. But I'm going to hear from Eddie, and then I'm going to dash out of here, and then somebody else is going to step in. But Emily's been busting my balls about my phone, and she's just the fact that my phone alarm went off. She's like, that phone again. So I'm sorry, Eddie.
No, this is good.
Projecting.
So Wendy is a life path 9, and she's born on the 9th day. We talked about it earlier, where there's a paralysis that takes place in the thinking, the feeling, and the vibration in and of itself. And Miss Brittany, by the way, she's a life path 9, so she's got that connection to Wendy and right here. So you three are like the little musketeers.
Trifecta.
Here's what I think is going to happen, so we can get this 2 minutes in before Dr. Drew has to leave. The laws are going to be changed because of what's going on with Wendy Williams.
That'd be amazing.
They're going to effing change because of Wendy Williams. The laws are going to change the judicial system, the health care, the mental health care, and addiction.
It all needs to change. I agree with you. It does need to change.
And that's the first thing.
It's a misadventure. It's a medical, legal misadventure.
Oh my God.
And
3
for
years.
certain people to make lots of money on while everybody else suffers.
Yeah, of course.
She's flipping the script on it. I kept getting something about mixed meds getting mixed up or overlapping each other.
Probably if she had hepatic encephalopathy and not frontotemporal dementia, completely different medicines for these 2 different syndromes. So,
and then her adrenals and her thyroid feels like it's just fried.
Well, and that kind of goes together. Thyroid and adrenal disease go together.
And I kept writing down Brittany. This is a Britney Spears thing. It's a conservatorship. There's somebody's going to walk away in this in handcuffs.
Jeez. Which is sad. This is terrible. But
The system
it's probably whoever was using her money, probably.
The system is set up to protect the criminals.
Ugh.
And it's getting ready to be set up.
I'm disgusted. I hate that.
It breaks my heart.
It's the truth, but it's getting ready to be flipped on its ear. And then the system is going to be there to help the good people who are doing their best. There's a woman around her, C's, S's, Z sounds. There might be an M sound in the name. I don't know who she is or what her connection is, but there's going to be a big old rock that's going to fall on somebody's damn head, and they're going to have to answer some questions. Somebody walks away in handcuffs. But she needs to watch her respiratory, her chest, heart, lung, respiratory area. But she's going to come out of this in a big way, like a huge big way.
Oh,
Good for her. That's good.
Well, I would
thank you.
imagine.
I'm going to have to run. Good to see you.
Always.
I would
Thank
imagine
you.
being.
I'm going to run.
The SM name also could be
What's the matter? What are you laughing at, Emily? Emily's always busting my balls.
Who is it? Wait, say the name.
So the guardian, he was mentioning a M person's name. The guardian's name is actually Morrison. So her name, Wendy's guardian, is Sabrina Morrison. And so when you said the SM, that's probably who you're talking about. Wendy can't say it, but I can. Sabrina Morrison.
You can.
Okay, so you're
I
dead
just
on.
got goosebumps.
Oh, Sabrina. S name.
Sabrina Morrison is the guardian. So what you were talking about, S&M, you were dead on.
That is crazy. Did you ever?
Okay, guys.
It sounds like I'm segueing, but I'm not. But Brittany, did you ever see, and Susan, did you ever see the documentary called Hot Coffee about the sweet little lady who spilled the hot coffee in her lap from McDonald's?
Yes.
And then how the system was pushing for McDonald's and against her when all she ever wanted was them to pay for her medical bills and she asked for nothing else. And then it turned into this huge, giant debacle. And on top of that, they used this poor woman as the excuse to top all legal cases at $250,000. That was the agenda behind that case. There's something behind this case that is not public knowledge that is going to come out. Thank you. They're just saying there's 3 layers to this. There's the layer we're being shown and told. There's the layer that is the truth. And then there's a layer that is the glue that binds them both together. But somebody's going to be in handcuffs. And then there's a female energy like we talked about, but then there's a male energy too that's kind of behind the female energy. And so they're in cahoots in some way, shape, or form. It's it's so sad. It's so sad.
Her correct name, Sabrina Morrissey. And so even you're saying somebody behind her, like when the judge when they were to court, the judge literally said to them that this is being in place to limit all of Wendy's independence. So what you see is a result of the court literally saying we're limiting all of her independence completely. And so Wendy has been fighting for the last 3 years to gain it back.
And here's what happens when you have a Wendy Williams personality. She's that life path 9, just like you are, Brittany. Right. And she is independent, self-sufficient. She has fire in her heart, her mind, and her soul. She is literally born to connect to humanity. Now, here's the funny thing. This year, she is in her throat chakra. The throat chakra is a heaven chakra, speaking my divine truth. And her focus is genius mentality for 2025. That means she's going to use her divine voice, her truth, one way or the other, and use her genius to skirt around the issue and use other vehicles like you, like TMZ, to bring the truth out so she can be emancipated. If you want to kill a person like Wendy, you take away all of her freedoms and you put her in a corner and you take everything away from her. She will wither away. But she's coming out with boxing gloves on, with some big old gold boxing gloves on. She's like, how you doing? Okay. This is so good. You look so cute.
Nice. Okay, so Emily.
Another 9.
Is here. She's another 9. Number 9.
9.
So we're here in the Journalist 9ville with 2 great people, Brittany and Emily. Emily knows everything because she does. Anything you do on the internet, she knows it for sure. And she's the one that helped me today with this production. We came up with the idea, and then she and Robin.
Well, I met Brittany at a party recently. We were at a Grammys event, and we started talking. Within, I think, the first 5 minutes, we were talking about Wendy Williams, and I'm like, oh, we got to have her on a podcast. And then this ended up working out perfectly.
Really?
Yeah.
We're talking about Wendy Williams at a Grammy party?
I'm like, hi, I'm Emily. She's like, hi, I'm Brittany. And then 1 second later, it was about Wendy Williams.
Really? Interesting.
That's how it works.
The 9 journalism minds meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
thrown together. And I literally have worried about Wendy. I have her robes in my New York apartment. I have these 2 big fluffy Wendy robes that I wear all the time. And they're huge. I don't know what to do with them. They barely fit in the closet. So they're so puffy and big. They're black.
Oh, she sold robes?
And she gave it to the guest. And he had been on the show so many times. I have like 2 or 3 of them. But she was so
share the wealth, Susan.
giving and loving. And I know, I'll get you one. I probably have one hanging around here too. But I don't know. I just always loved her energy, and I knew that she was a strong person. I hated to see that she had disappeared and that it was drug or alcohol abuse related. And the fact that she just got lost in the system like this, somebody with all this money, like you should be able to control something, it just blows my mind. But I do appreciate that you have all this information, because
I do have a question
if it does
for Brittany.
help her break free, I want to help her break free. What can I do to free Wendy?
Well, she is free, right?
No.
Oh, she's still I thought,
in there.
Oh, okay. Well, I did wonder, Brittany, if you, because a lot of, as I was doing the Diddy files, her name kept coming up because she had so many iconic interviews where she was spilling tea. So the conspiracy theorist in me wonders, is this timing planned that Wendy's going to be let out to spill some secrets? Because there was people that thought she was purposely locked away because she knew too much.
Conspiracy.
That's what a lot of people are saying online.
So interesting. So the funny thing,
appeal to you weirdos.
Her, as far as related to Diddy, she used to work radio before, she got the Wendy Williams show. And Wendy was one of the biggest radio personalities. She was already spilling information on Diddy, which led to Diddy getting her fired. And so I don't even believe that as far as timing goes, Diddy has had a vendetta against Wendy Williams ever since she publicly, spewed his truth. So now all of the stuff that's coming out with Diddy, Wendy's sitting back like, I had already said all this years ago, but Diddy tried to silence her, which got her fired from her radio job. And so that's also how Charlemagne the God, who's a very close friend of hers, they're connected, because Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club trained under Wendy. So when she did go on the press tour, that is why the first stop she went to was the Breakfast Club, because it was familiar. And she knew that they knew a lot of the stuff that she had been speaking about was true. She had just been trying to be silenced. And so now that all the Diddy stuff is coming out, Wendy's kind of been like vindicated. And even talking about timing.
Totally.
Even just
totally vindicated.
I hope her memory comes back.
It is. No. That's all a lie. By the way, all of that part is a lie. When she was going through the conditions with the alcohol and all this, yes, anybody, really incapacitated with alcohol will start losing memory. Wendy, even several of her friends that are in New York were like, she's coming back full throttle. Like Wendy says things like, my body is hitting and holding. Okay. She's like, I need to get in the gym. Guys, Wendy is like Wendy. I would encourage people to definitely check out some of her recent, even just within the last few days, she was able to go to Miami to celebrate her father's 94th birthday. Wendy looked the healthiest that we literally in months. And as I mentioned earlier, she just signed paperwork to potentially end the conservatorship, because now there's a lot of evidence that prove that Wendy has her memory, that she can take care of herself. She can feed herself. She can travel. She can literally make phone calls. She knows
she's got a book in the making. Definitely.
So Wendy is on her way back.
She wants to go back to work. I heard her say she wants to go back to work, but maybe not work in the same capacity. Television sucks. Yeah. But she could probably do anything. She could write a book. She could do podcasts and all this other stuff. She was in radio for all those years. She's an amazing performer.
Yeah. Yep. She mentioned podcast at one point. So wouldn't be surprised if Wendy ended up doing a podcast. So
she was interlaced with the people that, might have been involved in something, if it is conspiratorial, or it was just that she was abusing stuff and then whoever was in charge of her just really fucked up in the system. I mean, they weren't taking care of her medically the correct way. But I want Eddie to see if there's anything related to this that maybe he can debunk.
I feel like she did not get lost in the system the way nice-hearted people would like to think she did. I think the system was used against her deliberately. At one point, when they saw a tiny little pinch of a fold, they grabbed a hold of it and they used that to the best of their ability. Thank you. What they're showing me is the moment that Wendy said or did something, they're showing me Wendy getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And you can push the nicest person on planet Earth and they're going to snap. Mm-hmm. When she snapped, they said, see, she snapped. And then there was like 2 or 3 people around her that were not really her close people. And then they're the witnesses who put her into the system in this way. They kept literally showing me Brittany's conservatorship. There's more than Brittany's conservatorship and Wendy's. There's a whole gigantic entrepreneurial machine in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, that does nothing but put people like Wendy in a conservatorship so they can drain their resources from them. It's a whole empire. It's a business unto itself. The thing with Wendy is she's found a way around it. She will come out. She is that beloved. And you said, what can we do for Wendy? Here's the number one thing we can all do for Wendy when we're sitting at home, eating our club sandwiches and drinking our ginger ale.
With freedom.
Yes.
Running free in society.
Do not worry about her. Do not freak out. Do not be sad. Do not be mad at what she's going through. Send love from your heart to her heart. Send love to the place she is in. Send pure energy, pure thoughts, pure prayers, lots of humor. This woman loves humor. She lives for humor, and that's going to be the energy that emancipates her from
of
this.
Love.
So send love and feel good energy, not worry and fear, and you will see her bust out of there like a damn superwoman.
And also,
I believe it.
I don't know if you
again. I'm sorry.
When Britney Spears was going through her conservatorship, they had a Free Britney movement. They also had one for Wendy as well. So if you're ever seeing a photo, a video, or something, reposting, resharing, hashtagging Free Wendy, that also helps well, because these days, a lot of court cases, social media is in the court cases. You know, a lot of lyrics when it came to artists, you know what I'm saying, are used, you know, in these things. So social media also, that plays a part of how Britney Spears was able to get out of the conservatorship because of that Free Britney movement that went viral on social media.
Right.
The same.
I was a big part of the Free Britney movement. People think I only care about Kanye, but I cared about Britney. Even my dog marched for Britney Spears. My dog was the only dog at the Stanley Mosque courthouse downtown LA marching for Britney. There was the most pink I've ever seen in my life. Tons of gays. It was the girls and the gays coming out for Britney, and then there was like only 12 people. They were walking around the courthouse. What do we want? Free Britney. When do we want it? Now. And then it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and there was more and more and more media outlets. Yeah. And I think a lot of these news outlets play a big role in the downfall of these celebrities. That I know that Harvey's doing the expose, but I can't help but think that TMZ played a part in Britney's downfall.
100,000,000%. And let me ask you, Brittany, about Britney and Wendy. Have you noticed that the legacy media has starting to shift? They are forced to shift now, and you're going to be on the leading edge. You know, you're born on the 29th, correct?
Yes.
So you're an 11.
An 11.
On an 11 day. That is master number. That is spiritual, old soul, reincarnated a lot. That means you, no, you didn't.
She's got the 9 and the 11.
Nice. Okay, 11 right here.
You know what's really funny? 11 is my number too, because that's the day I gave birth to my triplets.
It's a 4.
Mine's 7-11 because I like hot dogs.
Yeah, she's got that 4 energy again. But you are literally all of your numbers. You're a master. Your life path 9. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing for a living. You're born on an 11 master number day, reincarnated a lot. You are born in a year that totals 6, which is you create, what are you doing now? You create family and community wherever you go. You unify people. And this year, you're going to love this, girl. This year, you're a 3 energy. That is communicator of higher consciousness, connecting people in the community in a creative way to wake them the F up. And you better finish working on your book because you're going to get a book deal. And you're supposed to be leading some kind of a big retreat or something like that really, really soon, where you're going to be the hot ticket in town.
Okay. Well, you know what's interesting?
I just got the chills because I think Brittany told me about a book or something when I met her.
I'm a rising artist, so maybe that's what that's about. And so I'm kind of astonished because I just launched my career in August and I've already had 3 bookings in the year within 2025. So I think you're definitely on to something insane.
And let me add this. You're in your solar plexus this year up until your birthday next year. The solar plexus, for people who don't know, it is your soul esteem, your soul confidence. It is your creative artistic expression. It is your fight or flight. And so you're in that for a whole year. This is where you create your reality. 99.99% of your reality is created there. And you're born on the day of the reliable guru. You don't let nobody down. And you're finally starting to be super selective about the people you hang out with. Okay? Because you're tired of people draining your battery, girl.
That's true. I don't even know Brittany that well, but I can feel that one.
A word.
Yeah.
A word.
Oh my goodness, this is way off the cuff, and I don't mean to be hijacking the show, but is there a woman in your family who has crossed over, meaning passed away, who has a strong R sound in her name, could have a C, S, or Z, like Rose, Rosa, Rosalind, Rochelle? It could be like Sarah. She's passed. And I don't know which side of the family she owns. She's passed. She's got the CSZ, that's one letter, R in her name. And she is rooting
Cheryl,
for you.
maybe?
She used to scribble.
Cheryl.
Yes. Who is this?
My grandmother. And she was, and spiritually, like, I know that a lot of these rooms I've walked in, even just taking the risk to moving to LA with nothing, I know it's been her crazy story. We got baptized together. She died about 2 months after, and I've never been the same. So it has to be my grandmother. Is my guardian.
It is her.
Yeah.
Yes. And she used to scribble things. She would scribble little notes. She would scribble little things, doodle little pictures. And you don't have anybody in your family with the name Woods or Wood or anything, do you?
Wood.
Pay attention to
Tiger
it.
Woods.
There's something. There's somebody that's connected to Wood or Woods in a neighborhood they grew up in or a community, but she is right there with you. She says her hearing is on point again and her eyes are perfect and she's got her eye on you.
Wow. Yeah, it would be my grandmother, who I actually look a lot like. That was the first traumatic death I ever experienced, but it impacted me for the rest of my life. And spiritually, I remember a point where I could not feel her or hear her. And when I did, change. So I always believed that when my birthday, I started seeing 129 a lot. I started seeing 1111 and it somehow to her. I can't tell you how, but it was somehow linked to her. So it has to be my grandmother.
And how old were you when she passed away?
I was 16.
You were in the solar plexus chakra when you were 16, girl.
Oh my gosh.
And now you're in the solar plexus chakra now. You're standing up for somebody who is imprisoned, if you will, and you're standing up and you're doing it authentically as a 9 and 11 would do. And she's breaking through on the other side to help you do that.
Wow.
Wow.
Goosebumps.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. I want to have you back too. I'm sure you have a lot more to expose or talk about. Or we definitely want to have you back again. Thank you for this introduction, Emily. Thank you for the Grammys, for making people come together and creatives come together to bring light to whatever's going on that we can't understand. We need to help Wendy Williams. She helped us. She helped my husband with his career. She's an amazing person, and I hope that her recovery is going to be a substantial one that helps other people in the future. And I will stand by her side and help her, if I ever have the opportunity. And, so come back again.
Thanks, Brittany.
Thanks, Brittany.
And I'm going to free Wendy t-shirts. Send your sizes.
Okay, yeah. And are you going to sell them on your X channel or something? It's at Britt Burt. That's with 2 T's. BRITTBURT3. She's on X. And is that also your Instagram or whatever?
Yeah.
Britt Burt 3. And check her out. Go there, get the t-shirts, and tell her how great she was today. We will be in touch, and thanks for everything. We really appreciate it. This was awesome.
So the girl that is calling in next is how I met Brittany.
Oh.
So that'll be interesting too.
Okay. So we're going to segue, and I hate cutting people off. I want to keep going. It's just really hard. It's like, we have somebody else waiting.
Other girl was like, I am just praying for a reading from that amazing gay psychic. Eddie, that hot guy kick.
Oh my God, the convalescent.
So last night I go, do you want a reading? She's like, oh my God, yes, I want a reading. She's a little nervous, but I said, Eddie only says good things.
Yeah, we're not here to call out our people in a reading like
she knows.
Our guests. It's really hard because a lot of people don't want to come on the show because they're afraid somebody will call them out because it's called Calling Out with Susan Pinsky. But basically, that's just to call out things that we are upset about or that we feel about that are wrong in the universe. And then we're not going to have you on the show. And if you want to be on the show in the future, email me at callingout@drdrew.com. Somebody on the Rumble just asked that. We're not here to call you out on whatever it is that you're trying to hide. So that's why I have a hard time getting people. Sometimes they're like, I don't know if I want my shit out there. But, and we're not here to call out your shit. So
no, it's always good. It's always uplifting.
We're calling out that woman's spirituality and her numbers, they all align with mine too.
That was good.
Right? Because I have triplets, number 3. They're born on 11/11. That's my number. My 22 and 33 have always been like my favorite numbers. And then 11/11, of course, because 11/11/92, which is another 11. So it's a set of 3 11s with kids. And I planned it. I had a cesarean. So I said, I want that date. Because I've always believed in it. I've always believed that would be a good thing.
1992 was a 3-year triplets.
Yes. Yeah. It was a big year. I was very big. And I'm going to talk about all the weight I've lost later. I'm going to go see my friend Vincent in Las Vegas tonight. And we're going to work on our V-Shred exercise program, which I've been doing for 2 years. I lost 20 pounds. I've kept it off, and I feel great. And part of it, he did an interview with me where we were talking about dieting and drinking, and I said, well, I like to drink. And we were talking about ketosis and losing weight and being on a diet and still being able to have a vodka drink here and there. But since then, I have quit drinking.
I thought that yesterday. I don't know why my mom was like, does Susan drink? And I go, I think she drinks mocktails.
And I should have asked Brittany this.
I thought you were sober.
Yeah, I come from a long line of alcoholics.
Same.
We're hardworking, functioning alcoholics. But be that as it may, I quit because I was having memory problems. I was having stomach problems. I'm in my 60s. It was just not healthy. And I did drop like 5 pounds.
Yeah, I know. Drinking's the key to losing weight.
If you are on a diet and you want to lose some weight, put the wine bottle down. So, but I do want to say that recovery it's hard to do. You have to, I want to have a drink occasionally. I'm like, God, a drink. I would love to have one, but you just don't do it and you feel fine. It's a wonderful thing. But I also feel like my brain is clearer and I wake up, I don't have hangovers, I don't have stomach issues, I sleep great. I don't know why I was drinking so much. Anyways,
I didn't know you were drinking a lot, but I've only known you sober.
I did. It was a lot for, like, now if I drank as much as that, I would be hungover for like 2 weeks.
I had like 2 shots of tequila with our next guest last night.
Okay, well, and I'm not shaming you for wanting to drink.
It was the first time I drank in a while, though. I wasn't hungover at all. I feel like it didn't do anything.
I'm not telling people they shouldn't drink. I'm just saying.
I didn't feel it. It was weird.
My recovery is so important to me, and I want to help other people not end up like Wendy Williams. Because if this is alcohol related, and she is incapacitated or was at a certain point, and she's stuck in this horrible hell, think about it. Is it really worth having a drink? Like, is that really, especially if you have kids and you have a life and you have, a lot of money, that you can enjoy into your old age, it's just, and all of a sudden she's just super sick and got super, and everybody's like, what happened? What happened? Doctors will never point at alcohol. They will always diagnose something else. They won't tell an alcoholic, maybe if you stop drinking so much, you won't have that myriad of different ailments that you're always complaining about. Because addicts are like, no, I'm going to have that drink. I'm going to talk my way out of this. And I have 15 other things, and it's not because of the alcohol.
I don't understand the point of having one drink. Like, if I'm going to drink, I want to get blacked out, so I go into a weird dimension, or I don't want to drink at all.
I'm like that with C's candy.
I'm like, why take the calories?
That's me too now.
I'm like, why have one box?
Oh my
Just
God,
have them
I
all.
love C's candy.
Gotta get them all.
Well, anyways, I didn't mean to sideline
I'm a good drunk,
my situation,
which is scary. I'm actually much nicer drunk.
Oh.
But it makes you so inflamed. There's no point.
Oh, no.
Well, and listen,
I'll give people hugs if I'm drinking. That's weird for me.
Yeah,
I'll do crazy things when I'm drinking.
You do?
Are you a sweet drinker?
Oh, I'm a happy drunk.
Me too.
No,
Yeah.
Susan is so fun.
I am fun. I'm not
Susan's
fun anymore.
No, Susan's fun anyway. You're fun anyway. But we've had some crazy times. I can go.
I can go over the top. Okay, so
Should we segue into?
Thank God Drew's not here right now.
I know.
I'll be sitting in that cell with Wendy, and in the next episode of Calling Out with Susan Pinsky from the Wendy Williams cell. Okay, so I want to introduce the next person, Allie. She's a 12. She's born in December, which is and really close to my birthday. So she's coming in now to get her psychic reading because she is the one that introduced Emily to
Brittany,
and I want to know how that numerological connection goes today.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
You're really nervous, aren't you?
We're not going to call you out on your drinking, okay? We promise.
Yeah, we would never do that. And what's interesting is you're kind of already holding your breath a little bit. You're literally your breathing stopped right here in your throat. So just breathe a little deep, because I promise nothing negative, bad, or scary is going to come through. And can you just say your full birth name or the name you go by now? Just your name you go by now, the full one.
Allie Hernandez.
Perfect. And then you're December 16th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Emily said that you already know that you're a life path 33.
Another one. Holy shit.
I only surround myself with masters.
What the hell?
I've met more 33s on your show than I have doing readings for people.
Oh, God.
And so you're a life path 33, which is, again, a master number. And what it is 33s don't come back to the earth plane until they've lived multiple lives as 11s and they master it. That's high spiritual development. And then they come back as 22s. And that's high spiritual development. So they piggyback on the foundation of the 11, which is that old soul reincarnated a lot who's here to speak and teach and uplift humanity. 22 builds on that spiritual platform. And then 33 comes back to the planet to teach the 22s, the 11s, and the 1 through 9s. Okay, Allie. And what's interesting is you're born in 1994, and that comes to a 6. So what is 3 plus 3? 6. You have an organic balance in there. And you're born on the 16th, which is a 7. That means you're very, very smart. And you're, if you do what you're supposed to be doing, you're exceptionally smart at it. You do genuinely have a genius mentality. And this year, you're supposed to be throwing yourself out in public, making yourself number one. So is it hard to put you first in front of other people, or are you working on how to do that?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. That's definitely a conversation I have with myself often, if I should be helping other people or be helping myself more. So I've had a hard time with that in the past.
What happened when you were 16?
I don't know, actually. That's kind of a blur. I was
16.
I had a hard time in school when I was younger, kind of being involved with too many extracurriculars. And that time I'm thinking maybe I burnt out around then, where I was just doing too much.
Good. And you had to figure out who you were instead of what everybody wanted from you. That was your tipping point. And like we said with Brittany, when you were 16 years old, you were in the solar plexus chakra, that self-esteem and self-confidence. And I've never met a 16-year-old that has got stellar self-confidence and self-esteem that's based on something solid. And even though you had good self-esteem, you were still, I feel like, trying to please other people. Thank you. They're saying a lot of master numbers like you were born, you knew what you knew that you knew the minute you were born. So you knew you were a healer and you knew you were different and you came here to uplift people around you. But once you came into a physical body and your brain started to develop, you mistook your purpose as, I am supposed to take care of everybody else around me. I need to fix this environment. I need to heal this person. I need to uplift this other person. And then when there's enough left at the end of the day, I'll take care of myself. So you're literally here to, this year specifically, you're going to break that old pattern and that awareness that you learned when you were around 16 years old. And you're coming into your full power now. You're in your solar plexus now. You're in the age you're at right now, you are also in your solar plexus. So isn't that weird how that worked out with the both of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
completely
strange.
Different birthdays. You're both in the solar plexus around that same age, and you're both in the solar plexus now. And you were born on the day of the empathic healer. And I know you've heard this. It's like healer, heal thyself. And that's what all 11s, 22s, and 33s come to the planet to finally learn. But you are literally being pushed out into the front to make yourself first. And you'll do it in a diplomatic way, don't get me wrong. And the very first day of your birthday is number 1, too. Okay, girl, please, you got to get out there, all right? And you're so young, but do you have children or do you want children?
Maybe in like 5 or 6 years.
How many do you want?
Tell her.
3 maybe.
Oh, well, there's 2 for sure. And do twins run in your family?
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Don't wish for twins.
Whoever she's going to
Trust me,
hook
you
up
don't want to
with
do
Amelia
that.
does.
1 is enough. 1 is enough. 2 kids separately is plenty.
Yes.
Yeah, and 3 is a lot. Trust me. I'm glad I had 3, but damn it was hard.
And do you have a puppy right now?
No.
There's
I was gifted a
light
plant
colored-
recently.
Good. That's plenty.
Did you name it
She was
Fido?
hanging out with my puppy last night.
That's plenty
That's gotta be what
too.
it
It was a little Maltipoo.
No,
It
a
always
plant-
goes to Allie.
A plant is plenty.
Is it light
Dogs
colored?
are.
Yes.
Okay.
Dogs die.
Melly loves Allie.
It's in her energy field, so strong.
Okay.
And it's something that
Stutz is
lifts
going to
you.
be furious.
And by the way, is you in a relationship, girl?
No.
Okay. Well, guess what?
You're gonna get one.
Yeah, you are.
She
There's a dick
is?
coming.
Yeah. By the way, are you scared to take your blouse off in front of a new love?
Depends how much I've been drinking.
It does give you willpower.
Well,
it does give you momentum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Child, please.
It's the only time I take my top off when I'm blacked out.
Yeah. 3 shows in, we're like, middies. So,
oh my God.
There's an M-R-C-K or M-C-K, like a Mick, a Mike, a Mark. Do you have somebody with those sounds, those consonants in their name from your past that you connected with? Because you got somebody coming back around full circle who wanted to nibble on your neck, honey.
And your nipples.
Oh, no.
You brought up the taking your shirt off part, not me. You put it in my head.
Yeah, it'll be like a Mick, a Mike, a Mark. And so first name, last name, nickname, or middle name. Don't even try to figure it out.
What if it's a Matt?
That's an M.
And an R last name.
M-R, yep.
I really hope you're wrong about that one.
Well, you're beating me to it. He's going to come back in. He's going to want to nibble on your neck, and he's going to want to take your blouse off, and he's going to give you an extra tequila shot, but you need to go, no, sir, not today, Satan. Okay? So
good to know.
That's not a match. And what's your connection to the northeastern United States personally?
That would be the Satan you speak of.
That's him.
Run like the wind. Hey, do you know his birthday?
10/19.
Yeah, 10/18.
But I don't know the year.
I can already tell you what the issue is right here. 1997. Are you sure it's 97?
He's probably watching right now. Hey, Matt.
That's what I'm like. Hey, hey, Matt. This is all in love and fun.
It's a really toxic. Well, they met through me, which makes it worse.
That's why.
Do you want us to call this out, or are you okay with that?
No, I'm totally.
What did you find
with it?
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. So he's actually a really good person. There's some imbalance here, but there's a good person. Let me tell you the reason. If this is the correct year, but here's the reason. He is born on a number 1 day. What is your theme for 2025? You got to put who first?
Me.
You.
Okay.
It's hard.
Okay. He's born on the 19th. 9 and 1 is 10, which equals 1. Who are you supposed to be putting first? He is a life path 1, girl.
Yeah.
He is a life path 1. He's born on a 1 day. He is born on a number 1 month. And he is an 8 year, which means he is up and down.
Is that why him and I get along? Because we're both 8s?
100%.
Because him and I always are fine, but then those two really clash.
Yeah. Well, they're oil and water. Their numbers are oil and water, just literally oil and water, 18, 19, 20. Oh, yeah. By the way, he's supposed to be a little bit softer in 2025, but not soft enough for you to want to take him back, okay? He's a good guy. Honestly, he is, but he's not for you. You don't need to be fixing him and healing him and nurturing him and uplifting him. And girl, what do you do for fun? Because you feel stuck to me. You don't like feeling stuck.
To kind of recap that whole scenario, that's been the crux of why the relationship has never really worked out, because it's been me needing to sacrifice myself and my personality and everything that makes me happy for that. So it's never really been something that I have battled with in the past. And then this year I kind of just put my foot down and said, I'm not doing this anymore. But for fun, I don't know. I guess work is fun for me. I want to build stuff.
That's good.
It's the same with me. Let me go back to this a minute. You just described with that relationship where you had to put your foot down and put yourself first. You literally described what happened when you were 16, where you had to stop being pulled by everybody. See, everybody wants to be Allie's friend more than Allie wants to be their friend, because Allie's the giver, the uplifter, and the server. And a lot of people are wired to take. So you were attracting a lot of takers. Now, Matt's a giver and a taker, but if he's around a genuine master teacher, giver, he's going to take, and give you a piece of C's candy and walk out the door. Okay?
Last night, Allie was at my house and she was helping me with this pitch deck. And I'm sitting there thinking, I would never help her this much. Why is she helping me so much? And I was like, I'm like, I can't give this much. And I was like, Allie gives a lot of her time to other people.
Yes. And just so you know, that is going to come back.
She's so good at it, though. Don't tell her that I need her help.
Okay. But here's the thing. You will get all of that back in the future from even exchanges of energy and complete strangers.
Well, she's also put her foot down. There's a guy in our chat that's been taking, and she finally said, I'm not doing this anymore. Unless you step it up, you're out of here.
Okay, and let me tell you what he's going to do. He's going to step it up for 2.5 seconds. He's going to give you the illusion that he's trying to step it up, and he will for a minute. Then he's going to drop back off, and so you will take over. But you're not going to fall for that, are you, Allie? Because you're a 33, aren't you, Allie? Say yes.
Well, he's not my problem. He's Emily's problem. But yes.
Allie has a really good intuition where she spots vultures in my life a year before I spot them.
Patterns. Mm-hmm. She's a pattern girl like you are. So you two can see people's patterns around the other. Mm-hmm. So you two are like Charlie's little angels out there. You're like yin and yang watching out for each other. But you're going to have a ring on your finger when you're ready. And you're going to, you like them tall and manly?
They have to be, at least 6'2".
Yeah, well, you're going to get a tall, yes, girl. You're going to get a tall, manly guy who knows how to fix a motor if he has to. He knows how to put gas in your car. And he knows how to fix a flat on the side of a country road. Okay. But long story short, you're going to be great. You're going to be fine. And you knew since you were a little girl, you were destined for something big. And you're kind of wondering where the hell it is. It should have been here by now, but it's on the way. You're getting ready to go to a whole new level. You wait and see. The other thing is, do you have a sister?
No. Just brothers.
Find out if your mother had a child that did not fully come into the earth plane. Find out if your mother had a miscarriage.
She had a miscarriage with a boy, but you know what? I'm adopted on my dad's side, and he was quite the ladies' man. So that's where I have my 2 older brothers from. So I wonder if there's a sister that I'm unaware of.
Yes. Well, there's a sister in spirit that watches over you that will sort of push you into the front in a way that makes you comfortable and slightly uncomfortable. Comfortable, slightly uncomfortable until you get to the 33 mark where it's comfortable and then uncomfortable. So it's going to be fun to watch how it lands, but you're going to be kind of a big deal, girl.
Good. That's good to know.
So obviously you live in LA, but you will have a separate new connection to the Northeastern United States tied to work, tied to money, tied to contracts, just so you know. And who the hell live in Seattle, Washington, and what's up there that you think is good in that part of the country?
Whoa.
I don't.
What's his name?
I have a brother. Well, fuck. No, there was some
Very
guy that I
cryptic.
had I had a situationship maybe 5 months ago with a dude who lived there, but that was very brief. That was like a week.
Can you say his name? You can't. If you can. No, yeah.
His name starts with a C.
Oh, damn. Okay, well,
let's hold on that.
yeah, let's put a pin in
We're
it.
going to get more for you later off the show. We have another guest coming on, and
Okay.
I'm a little frustrated right now, but thank you so much for your time. Is there any way, do you want to promote yourself or be on it? I don't have any socials for you, so I assume you just want to be.
Allie doesn't have social media, but she does have a new business she can promote.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's the Hizzle
Take a deep
Group.
breath.
It's a PR and creative agency. We're at 0 followers right now. I just made the Instagram.
Yeah. So anyways, follow her there and give her a shout out on hizzlegroup.com.
Oh, God, I love her.
Who will be the
Thank you
first
guys
follow?
for having me.
I'll follow her.
Thank
So
you.
Thanks, Allie.
I'm going to shout out to Kaleb. I don't know if he saw this. I texted him, but we went up on X for 2 seconds and then it stopped. So if, which bums me out because this was a really good show for an X promotion. I hope we can put it up there, Kaleb. Are we going to be able to upload it to X
I'm
eventually?
checking on
Or
it.
that's strange. No, I still see it. Oh, weird. That's weird. I'll check on that. I don't know why.
It stopped right after the intro. It just went, it just says calling it. It's there, but it's not there. So anyways, because I was like, there's no comments on X. It's kind of weird. And that's always a big audience for us. I untweeted it on Drew's thing, but I don't know if you can put that up later. I think what it means is that Emily's going to have to take clips from the show to free Wendy.
Yeah, I
I
already could feel the moments.
We're going to have to post them out there and lead everybody over to our Rumble page or our YouTube page so that they can see the show. All right. So, or you can listen to it on the podcast as well.
It was a really great episode. There's a lot of good moments.
So that was great. We appreciate the caller. We have one more we're going to add in last minute. This is my friend, Joseph. He's Joseph Giannotti. He is born January 30th. I'm not supposed to say his age, his year on air because he's, I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't want anybody out there. Hi, Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Susan. I'll just say it. It's 1981.
I was like, it's not that old. Why is he not wanting to say it?
Yeah, you're a baby.
So, Joe, I'm not going to say anything about you yet, but I want to talk to you a little bit about what we were talking about last week. We've done a show, and Joe's kind of an expert in something that we've previously done a show on. And but I'm going to let you dig into his psyche first and see what you can come up with and see if anything comes out. Hopefully he's not a 1 with an 8.
No, why?
I don't know. You just said something bad about that guy with a 1 and an 8. So,
for Allie.
Oh no, see, he's not like this. Well, Joe is born on a 1 month. There's two. Every number has a shadow side to it, and so this guy is. The former gentleman we were talking about has 3 1s. Mm-hmm. And the reason Allie was with him, because he is a gross over-exaggeration of what it looks like to put me first.
Right.
So she would have to see what it looks like. Then she could see the balance.
You're looking off it. Nobody can see your face.
And then the imbalance in it simultaneously. So she's learned her lesson. Look at her. Now we got to talk about the guy up in Seattle.
All right, forget him.
So with Joe, you're born in 1981. It's funny, that's the number 1 year too.
Uh-oh. A lot of 1s today. Mark Geragos, the ex, Joe.
I'm kidding, Joe. Okay, keep going.
So it's a 1 year, and you're born in a 1 month yourself. So whatever you do for a living, you literally are a leader in it. And it's funny, when I said that out loud, I feel like you don't like people sometimes. And I know you do, and you get along with everybody, but you need some time away from people because
At work?
Whatever you see in humanity makes you want to tiptoe back into the corner a little bit and close the curtain.
Funny you say that.
And you're a life path 5, which is interesting. 5s are the shapeshifters, and they are the beautiful people physically and non-physically, which means you're here to pull the curtain back from, I'm literally going to say ugly shit on this planet, and then bring some hope into it in that 3 in a creative way, artistic way. So that's writing, whatever you do for a living, and getting truth out there in a way that gives people hope and makes them feel like everything's going to be okay one way or the other. Thank you. Have you won awards already for whatever it is you do?
I actually have.
Okay. Really?
And
I did not know that.
Are you up for an award now?
I am not.
Okay, there's something, they're showing me curtains and a stage. So there's something coming up that I'm glad you don't know about it yet. It will be presented to you this year, and it could be based on something you've already done in the past that you've kind of forgotten about. They're laughing with you because they're saying, the nature of what you do for a living, sometimes you have to spin multiple plates. And it's almost like you have to do 2 or 3, I'm going to say clients or jobs or tasks simultaneously. And you are a peacekeeper in some kind of way, shape, or form. And everybody likes you. That's the good thing. But you really don't like people? I mean, you do, but you don't. What do you do to take a break from humanity?
It depends on the career. So I have multiple careers. And Susan really knows only one part of what I do for a living, which is, of course,
I kind of do. You've told me a few things. Yeah.
What is it?
And I'm a meteorologist. That's what I do mostly. And for the past 25 years, since I was 18 years old. I've also been, minus COVID, I've also been a public address announcer for sporting events.
Okay. Oh my goodness. What's the other thing you do that you might not be comfortable saying in public?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it feels like there's something else. What's the research thing?
Well, I mean, very soon I'm going to get my podcast started again.
Okay. And what's New York for you?
Well, that's where I live.
Okay. Well, never mind.
Well, you're spot on. Good job. I didn't tell him that.
Oh yeah, no. It's loud and clear. You're. I don't even know what it all is entailed in the primary thing you do that Susan knows you do, but you're kind of a big deal, yeah?
I wouldn't call myself a big deal.
Well, that's because you're a 5. And you wouldn't because you're humble and you're thoughtful and you're sincere and you're doing what you do for the right reasons, by the way.
He's good at his job.
Yeah, and there's something else coming to you that you haven't done before that you will throw your hat in the ring to do that's going to put you in more celebrity circles or high-end circles or red carpet circles.
Okay.
I got excited.
Pretty much.
But something's coming that's going to be really...
He's going to be my date at the next Grammys.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding.
Is Joe going to drop his jacket or you?
Okay. And are you in a relationship by chance?
No, I'm single.
Okay. And I'm scared to say this because I think it's going to be about 20% accurate. Is there a mother or grandmotherly energy in your life, living or past, that has an M in her name, an R or JG sound by chance? Living or past?
Trying to think. Great question. Trying to think. M would be one, but I mean, my grandmother was an R, but I was not really terribly close with her.
You don't have to be. She's right behind your ass right now and talking about how proud she is. Now, one of them was a tough nut to crack, and one of them was a little easier, but they are so proud of you. I know it sounds crazy. You don't have, listen, I didn't even meet my damn daddy, honey. And the psychics will go, your daddy's proud of you. I'll say, you lying, because I never met him. But he is. I know he is in spirit. But you have 2 women with those sounds literally behind you saying you're getting ready to step into the spotlight in a new way. So that could be the podcast. I feel like something behind it. And you're another one of those classic examples of more people like you and want to hang out with you and do things with you than you would want to do with them.
That sounds like you.
And did you also just redo something? Okay. And do you have 2 bathrooms in your home or 1?
Actually, I have 3.
Okay. Did you have to do something to one of the bathrooms not terribly long ago, or you're looking into doing something with one of the bathrooms?
No, not really.
Okay.
Well, you better.
You need to pay attention. If
your grandmother wants you to redecorate.
If there's something literally with the drip, or the pipes, a drip, a faucet, a leak, as soon as you see it and
you're
fix it.
Accurate. Very accurate.
Good. And you've already done it, right? You've cleared it up.
Partially.
Get it done, because if you get it done, it'll cost way less. If you let it go on a little bit longer, it's going to start the same problem in another section of the property. And I'll say this last little thing really quick, and it's very basic. I'm sorry, but is Charles? There's a Charles around you, or it's a CSZ male? Could have an LR, like Carl's is CKRL, Charles is a CSRL. This is a dead person. Sorry about that. I know you're
dead people are here,
Yeah,
Joe.
you got a bunch of dead people around you. And you like to play.
Because he doesn't like real life people.
Yeah, that's right. And are you the card player? Do you like card games? Or would that be the man who's passed away that played cards or played cards with you even?
No, I could play cards, definitely.
Sure. Charles.
Okay.
Charles.
Oh,
Carlos.
And you just got
I don't know
money.
Charles,
you just
though.
got some money. Well, okay, so it'll be a CSZ.
That might be my goddamn Charlie. He keeps popping up every time you're here.
You're going to. Did you just get money, like big money, a surprise thing of money?
No. I wish.
You're getting ready to.
Bye.
You're going to. You're going to.
Okay.
And lastly, I promise I'll shut up, but I just heard Daytona 500. So I don't know if you're a race fan or if you like that, but there's something about that racing or that sport that's going to come back, and pay attention to it when it comes back to you.
No, I was never a racing fan. However, a good friend of mine is a diehard racing fan.
And there's something coming in around it. Pay attention. They just tell me things that nobody on earth can know but the dead ones. So they're around listening to these conversations about the racing and all of that stuff.
Are you thinking about it?
That's good to know.
You need to get a new wallet.
Get a new wallet too.
Badly.
Bigger wallet.
All right. I want to change gears a little bit.
Okay.
So Joe and I have known each other for a long time, since the pandemic, and he was a fan on Locals. We started Locals during the pandemic, and we met him there. He also followed me when we did a dose of Dr. Drew and Ask Dr. Drew. We sort of became friends at that period of time. And during that time, during the pandemic, he lives with his mother, and he was very isolated, and he lost a lot of weight too. Right, Joe?
I did. Well, I've lost it since 2013. But I've maintained the weight loss pretty much, The photos.
And also, I'm just giving congratulations on that. Like, I followed you because you were like, getting yourself healthier. You're trying to get out more. He's kind of reclusive during that period of time, but he's done a lot to get himself broken himself free of sort of being isolated, besides going to work as a meteorologist in the airport. He's the guy that tells the air traffic controllers the weather. So here's a photo of him before and after that he sent me many years ago.
Oh, wow.
And we have talked about V-Shred a lot and stuff like that, and weight loss. But Joe has been like, he really tried hard to get in shape when he was listening to us. We talked about health. He followed us during the years. But every time I'm going to the airport and I'm wondering if I should go to Newark, because he works at Newark, I call him and say, hey, how's the weather?
Oh, that's funny.
He helps
He's
me.
a good person to know.
Yeah. So anyways, when we had this Black Hawk helicopter thing, I wanted to have him on the show that day because I reached out to him and said, what do you think's the reason behind this horrible, tragic accident? And he said some stuff that's pretty funny that you mentioned. He said, well, I don't know if I should say it. You want to say what you said to me about the air traffic controllers? All right. Should I? I don't know if I should.
I'm just going to say stuff that's in the public since I have a job that has a non-disclosure agreement. I'm just going to say what's in the public. And the first thing I'll tell you is that, I've known about the DEI practices in the FAA since 2015. Fox Business did a thorough investigation back in 2015 about the DEI practices of hiring air traffic controllers. And what it involved was 4 or 5 people, it was 2 men, 2 women, I believe it was. And 2 of them were in the military and 2 of them went to the flight school. And in one case, I remember one of the guests or one of those that spoke out scored the highest level on the flight exam, yet could not get a job. And she was suing the FAA, and years later, it was settled out of court, and was suing because of the discriminatory practices that they had found that they were giving answers to exams to certain groups of people to give them a one-up on thing. And Trump tried in the past 4 years, meaning from 2017 to the early 2020s, to, take away some of those DEI practices. However, when Biden came in, he put them back, and even more so. And this is not something that's secret. This is all, you could easily find these articles, and now more than ever, that you could find everything.
And it all kind of got closed down, though. Like, we don't even know what happened. They still haven't told us what happened. It all got swept under the carpet. We're waiting to hear.
It's still very early in the investigation. One problem, and I'll say this is just my opinion, is that it takes so long for the NTSB to come out with a report. And of course, people don't want to wait a year, don't want to wait more than that for a thorough report. They want to get an answer now. And they want to find out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff going on too, Joe. Like, there's airplanes falling out of the sky all over, blowing up, turning over. Like, the NTSB is busy, right? They have a lot of shit going on. But you would think that it's probably not the air traffic control now. I'm starting to think it's the maintenance now in these airlines. But something he said to me that was really funny that Eddie mentioned was that you don't like people. I know you like people, but you said to me that the people there are awful people, and they're awful. And I think I can say that outside. You're not getting in trouble. That you don't have you can say that people are assholes, right? You're not. Is that illegal for you to say?
Well, I'm not going to talk about I'm not going to talk about any of the air traffic controllers or any of my colleagues, because
well, maybe not the ones you work with, but honestly, when you're working with people that are not easy, it just or are entitled or aren't really good at their job or whatever.
Susan, let me say it this way. Being an air traffic controller, I was never one. However, for 17 years, I was surrounded by them. Is an extremely stressful job. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Especially during busy periods and very bad weather. There are airports. Working for a top 20 airport with traffic in the country, it's just stressful on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, where flight after flight after flight internationally are coming in and out. So it's just, however, here's the other problem. I just read last week that the FAA is 3,800 air traffic controllers short. Well, that's not a short-term problem.
That's the other
problem. If you just suddenly hired 5,000 people tomorrow, they are not ready for a minimum of 2 to 3 years. So you still have a problem long-term.
Right.
And
so it is a lot of stress on the people that are there. But you
got to start taking the train.
You're aware
that I want to say another thing.
Best friends with all of them.
But I want to talk about another topic that's regarding this that people should know about, and it's the infrastructure. The infrastructure is clearly outdated, like Trump has said.
Right.
When you go outside to different parts of the world, which I have not, but Susan, this is a question for you. You've been to plenty of places around the world, plenty of airports around the world. Compared to the airports in the United States, how do some of the bigger airports around the world look, and just their infrastructure? I'm curious.
I should listen to the air traffic controllers when I'm going on a plane, but LA is a shit show. I go into Newark. Newark seems pretty good, but except for they're kind of ornery at the front desk when you check in. And the TSA is always really bad, but
air traffic at Newark is overall very good.
Yeah. I haven't seen any kind of mishaps there, and I'm knock on wood. I hope that there won't be any, because I fly in and out of there all the time. LA's always been a shit show for everything. But if compared to the rest of the world, London has an amazing infrastructure, I think, in their London Heathrow or Charles de Gaulle, and when you go to Prague, like everything's so clean, like everything's just like spotless, it's like international Eastern European countries. There's like a little old lady with a broom standing there all day long. It's really cute. But what I have found, though, looking at all this stuff the media has given me as far as information about air traffic control, they weren't really blaming air traffic control as much as they were potentially that there wasn't communication for some reason, and they're trying to figure out why. And so the military is clearly, pointing their fingers at them, and they're pointing their fingers at the military. But since it is the military, we're not getting as much information.
Of course not. That's I'm sure all very classified at this point. And
they weren't hearing the air traffic controllers, but the air traffic controllers were saying stuff and they weren't responding. But there's something else going on here. So, but I don't want to shit on all air traffic controllers or pilots or anything. It is a very stressful job, and I didn't mean to say that you think they're assholes and you don't want to be friends with them, but it's not like you go to work every day and go, I can't wait to chum up with that air traffic controller today. Because they're like doctors,
Well, they shouldn't be chumming with him. They should be focusing on the air traffic control.
And I know that Joe doesn't hate people, but he isolates. He doesn't like to, he's not.
He needs to go by himself, be alone to recalibrate, to get back in harmony with his spirit. Yeah, you're born on the day of the reflective hermit, which I just now noticed, which means, you do connect with people and you like people, but you also equally have to have your alone time so that your vessel is full when you are interacting with certain people.
That's a good thing to know, right? Yeah, he's a good guy. One day I want to meet him in person. He's he's in New York, and I fly to New York all the time. He works in New York, so there's potentially a time when we will cross paths, say hello, and shake hands. So I hope
you will.
Because but I also wanted to say that I appreciate your following me and being my friend, and we found you as a fan, and it. We all need a collective consciousness to all keep each other safe and happy and warm, and fix that toilet, and don't forget, because you will regret it.
I won't. And Susan, I just want to also thank you for the friendship. And I want to say one last thing, and this is for both you and Kaleb. I have numerous friends that watch Asking Dr. Drew. And during the pandemic, just hearing Drew's voice of calming people down really helped, especially with mental health, because and this is probably going to be my most controversial thing that I'm going to say, which has nothing to do with my field or career, but I think psychologists did a very poor job during the pandemic. They did an absolutely poor job. And in many cases, they included their politics, especially regarding vaccines. And I feel like, when you're a psychologist or a therapist of any kind, you're supposed to call the balls and strikes equally and not care about somebody's political affiliations. And that is one thing that Drew did on a nightly basis. He just, he called it for what it was. And
we try. I mean, it's common sense too, but not worrying about what side of the field you're on. I appreciate that, Joe, and I think that Drew does too. Thanks, man. I don't know if anybody knows this, and also Kaleb, we produced a show almost every day here, talking about COVID-19. We'd look at the stats, see how many people died, where they died, what city they were in, and Drew would just look at it and he'd try to analyze it from a medical standpoint. And people would just come out, call in, or listen. And Joe was one of them. And we made a little posse of friends that were on the Locals channel. But we really did appreciate Drew's knowing this information, although he kept saying, follow the CDC, follow Fauci. He's the what do you call it? The guiding star
Voice
or whatever. And
he is the science.
And but that was wrong. Like we were wrong about that because we were getting fed all this information too. So we were all confused. And the medical field was stunted. It was ruined by the government. Like you said, we weren't allowed to, ask questions, or we'd get canceled or censored. And I was censored on YouTube, and we had to be careful what we said all the time as well. But Drew knows this. He's been a professional for years. He had talk shows. He's worked at CNN. He knows where his boundaries are as far as what he can say and how he can say it before something bad happens, even though YouTube was, CCP oriented and just knocked us off a few times. But sorry, YouTube followers. Today, that's all we have because we didn't go out on X. But the freedom of Rumble and the freedom of speech that we have now is so much better. And I think that we're finding out so much more from these assholes at the top. And I know it was hard for you. You were overweight, and people were saying if you got COVID, you would die. And you were scared, and you had to wonder if you should get the vaccine or you should leave the house. And then your old mother was living with you, and it was scary for Joe. Joe was frightened, and I was frightened for you. And you have other health issues that you had to deal with.
Also added a chronic blood disorder that I've been living with for 30 years.
Yeah, so we were all, treading on thin ice here, trying to figure out what the right thing for Joe was every day, because we cared. We cared about you. We cared about our other followers and anybody who's out there who had to deal with anything traumatizing during COVID. We hope that it came out okay for you, but we did lose people. It was scary. I stopped doing this show during that period of time because I don't know. I just going into it spiritually kind of scared me because I was afraid that I was going to get attacked even more than Drew did for
yes.
So I went undercover for like 3 years, whatever.
So did I.
Or 5 years.
So did I.
Mm-hmm. But to just say something about Joe with what you're saying, Susan, and then what Joe just said. You're born on a number 1 month, and the last day of your year is a 1, and you're a life path 5, which is right smack in the middle. You need, want, and desire the 1 through the 10, and then make heads or tails of it. And then you come at it from up here, looking down at it from a state of awareness. Then you bring that awareness into your mind and your heart and your soul so that you have peace with it. And a lot of people weren't doing that during the pandemic. It was hard because there's a lot of misinformation. But you are that typical 5 who's going to find a way to look at it, to enrich yourself with it, and then share it with the right people.
That sounds like me. Very accurate.
Yeah.
I know. He's a good guy. But anyways, I just, if anybody wants to find Joe, how do we find you, Joe? If anybody wants to come hear your podcast.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Stanley Cup OT.
Stanley Cup OT. So he likes sports. So
yeah, maybe that was the racing.
No, he said his friend's a big fan of it, but it's not his thing. But
I'm a diehard sports fan. But and I work in sports media, so maybe that's where Eddie the correlation comes in.
Yes, I think it does because it's so strong in your energy field. There's something you did in the past that you've long let go of, meaning it was time to let go of it, that's going to come back around to you, or people from that world are going to come back and want to put you back in the hot seat so that you're the leading edge person there, and your numbers are going to go through the roof when that happens, Joe.
Thank you, Eddie.
Fight the good fight,
I think
Joe.
Joe's going to have a great podcast.
I do.
He's good at delivering information in a way that you're like, wait, he sounds really intelligent, but it's also he's saying it in a way that makes people understand
and warm.
In a warm way. Like I'm like, that could be an Instagram clip. A bunch of things he was saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he's speaking on things that most people might assume he's like a diehard liberal, but then he's got interesting MAGA views, which I thought made him more interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like rational thought.
Awareness.
I liked that.
Yeah, greater awareness.
Emily?
Greater awareness.
Because you're like, oh, he's in New York, he works in media. You think, oh, he's probably a liberal, but then he's got a lot of criticism of that party, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Emily,
and they could use people like you.
I consider myself a libertarian.
I pick up on that. Like, I like the moderate point of view. Like, I can't picture you in a MAGA hat, but also not in a Biden Harris hat either.
No, by no means.
You might wear a vote for Kennedy hat, though, right?
I definitely would.
Yeah, I have one of those.
I have a lot of Kennedy t-shirts.
But I'll be the first to
He's a
admit
big
that I
fan.
voted for. I'll be the first to admit that I voted for Trump 3 times, and
Good for you.
it was not because he was a Republican. It was because that he was promoting freedom.
And he laid it out.
Yes.
He literally laid all of it out for the world to see against the machine that was pushing it down.
Right.
But you did what you do. You go to the state of awareness and you read all of them, Democratic, Republic, Libertarian, etc. That's where you're flawless.
You're not a bad one. So what does that say, Kaleb? What's the disclaimer that you just put up?
I do it at the end of the show to tell people to consult medical professionals and attorneys and everything else.
Oh, okay. So I hope that you enjoyed that, Joe. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon. I'm going to be flying to New York next Sunday. Hopefully the weather's good, so I'll give you a call.
Safe travel.
And then if anything comes up about the Black Hawk, let me know. Also, I wanted to tell everybody I am flying to Vegas to see my friend Vincent, and Kaleb has a clip and some stuff that I don't know if anybody knows this, but since we're talking about getting sober and going on a diet and losing weight, I just wanted to show a little media clip of me and Drew.
I find that if I
what
just
we do.
reduce my calorie intake to a certain amount a day, I do okay, but I do like to drink a little bit.
Okay.
So that's the other thing.
No, I mean, and I get a lot of people to ask me about alcohol consumption. Just this past weekend, I drank 2 of the days, and I don't normally do that, but I do enjoy alcoholic beverages from time to time, and I think normal people are going to enjoy that as well.
Next clip, Kaleb. Okay, show the one. Okay, so that's Vincent. I think you guys have seen him on YouTube. He is V-Shred's mascot. He is absolutely gorgeous, and he's super smart, and he trains people, and he helps them lose weight. But I just want to show a little something that Drew and I did for this endorsement that I really enjoyed. Do you have that one, Kaleb?
Yeah, which one? The one in the gym or the one on the beach?
The gym.
What the fuck are you doing?
You want in? Join me. Let's go.
No. Okay, this is ridiculous. I got something way better for you. Check this out. So this is my free body type quiz. It's going to tell you what you should actually be doing in the gym and also in the kitchen. Check it out.
Well, fuck that.
Bless my husband's heart. They made me do that shit too. Okay, and I was so mad. I was like, "What are you
Can we see yours?
Let's see yours.
Oh no, I don't have. Well, they had
You made him delete the footage.
No, there is one with me and him in it, and I do the same sort of thing. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm on my phone. I was in the gym, okay, at my place in New York, and this woman had the bands, and she was bent over doing the thing where you walk to the
Right.
side crab walk.
Oh, I
and
hate those.
She was on her phone, so I had me doing that, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know. So it was funny. It is so fun to work with Vince and their crew, and V-Shred is definitely a good way to make some weight loss work. Like I lost 20 pounds, and I mean it's weird. I was 158 pounds, and I would go on diets and I'd get down to like 150. I don't know. I'd be really proud of myself, but then I'd gain it back over time. If I could hit 150, I was happy. Now I'm in 138. So,
Wow.
and I'm 5'7".
And you're tall.
Yeah. Drew's like, "You're too thin. You need to gain some weight." But I had a nice rack.
Fuck
It was
that,
nice
Drew.
before. Yeah. I had a nice rack. I lost about 5 pounds of boobs, but I do want to say that it is real. The metabolic test, eating carbs does not make you gain weight. You can eat carbs. I mean, not drinking really helped, like I lost the extra weight.
Because of calories.
You could see like in the picture, my face was a little rounder and stuff, and I've lost the weight, but But even if you do like a drink here and there, you can do it on this V-Shred diet. And the menus are great. The workouts, it's just weight-bearing exercises. You don't have to run for 10 hours on a treadmill. You don't have to, overstress your body. I'm just trying to build muscle back in my age group. And it worked. And it was just like they wanted Drew, and I said, let's try the diet. And I lost 5 pounds the first week. So, it's so healthy and it's so good. And Vince is the real deal. He's a pretty face, but he trains a lot of celebrities. And he also has, this huge business, this $1 million business that Drew and myself are a part of, and I'm really lucky to be a part of. So this week we're going to go there today, and I actually have to get in front of the camera and take videos of me,
woo!
Yeah, so that's the burn. They have this thing called burn. It's you take it, it's got some caffeine in it. You take it before you work out, and I swear to God, I lose weight every time I do it.
I love pre-workouts.
I'll give you some before I leave. I think I have some extra, but it's because now I'm too skinny. Drew's like, don't do that anymore. I don't lose any more weight. I got down to 135. So, and
that's pretty low for your height.
It's a conditioning program. You learn how to eat. Like when we'd go out to dinner at night, I would just split an entree with my husband, and then we'd have the food groups, and you can go out to dinner. Once you learn what your habits are. And then I intermittent fast. Like I don't like to have breakfast. So I'll have coffee till 2:00, and then I'll have 2 meals, and I can pretty much eat whatever I want now.
Wow.
And I'm not gaining it back. If I want to gain it back, I just try a little harder, and I have a, chocolate
candy
bar every night. Yeah. But chocolate's on the program. You just pace yourself. And I just recommend it to everybody. We don't have a call to action because it's just basically, we just represent. Drew is also starting a nutritional or a supplement line with V-Shred. We're going to have an NAD product and a sleep product, and you'll be able to find that on drdrew.com/shop once it all launches. We're working out he does all their medical stuff now, and just get some weights. You can do it with your body weight. It's such a great program. I'm so much stronger. I have so much more energy, and my metabolism is faster now to the point where I can't keep weight on. It's great. I can't tell you exactly how it worked, but I'd have a taco, blah, blah, blah for dinner or whatever they tell me to cook. Next day I'd be a pound lighter. And I was like, how is this working? So, and it's not hard to do. And once you're in it, I know that Robin also did it. I don't know. I don't know if she liked it, but I just stuck with it probably because they were paying me to do it. But it did work. Okay.
And that's on transparency.
Yeah, no, listen, we've been working with them for 2 years.
Well, you radiate when you speak about it.
Yeah.
You're very happy with the before and the after.
You can tell this is an authentic ad placement, even though it's not even an ad placement. You're just excited.
Happy, but it's sticking because when we hit our goal weight, it's like, yay, then here we go.
It goes right back up.
But you're not doing that.
No. I'm not gaining weight. I'm having a hard time gaining weight when I got too low.
Sounds like a great problem to have.
I know. Yeah. Drew's like, you have stretch marks on your ass. You've never had that before.
Okay, Drew, calm down.
I was like, all right, I'll go get a PRP on my ass. Okay, whatever, we'll do it. But it does feel better because to be able to put on your clothes, or have them hang off a little bit.
You need to show the audience how cool your shirt is. Show the whole outfit. It's like my favorite outfit.
It is really cute.
She's got this really cool shirt with a cool back design and these amazing. I want the whole thing. The pants are really cool. They're cargos with a stripe.
Oh.
It's giving, 25-year-old TikTok
I miss
star.
The girls, but they're hanging. They're still hanging.
You can always get more new ones.
No,
you could though.
Boobs. Oh God. No, but I'm just really happy that I was introduced to them. The team is amazing. Oh, my mic's over here. The team's amazing. The program works, and all the supplements are great. I wouldn't be afraid to try them, and it's not super expensive. I think I paid $80 to do it for the first month, and then you keep that forever. You don't have it's $80. If you don't like it, you're fine, but you can get the private program with a coach, and they have it's It's all virtual. It's a little bit more money. I think it's $250 a month or something, but prices are good. Food's great. The supplements work. And Dr. Drew will be the face of it for the next probably 10 years, I assume, and I will too. So
amazing.
You might see me out there twirling in a bathing suit. I just took some video this week. So
yeah, there's a video of Emily and I at See's Candy.
Stuffing my face.
Yeah, the after Valentine's special. The before and after.
But if anybody is into weight loss, like Joe really he did it on his own. I was very proud of him, and I'm glad to be his friend. So,
and he did it the opposite during COVID. That's where I gained my 50 pounds.
Same. Most people gain weight,
and then he lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and Drew lost 20 pounds too. So, I mean, he's gained a little bit back, but he's also building muscle now. He had a really bad shoulder problem, and I thought, oh God, this endorsement will be over because he can't lift weights and do all this stuff. But they stuck with us. They helped rehabilitate his arms. And now his ass looks fabulous because he worked his legs and his butt. He's got a hard ass now.
Leg day.
He had a flat ass before. He's got a big, round, hard ass and legs now. I love it. And it works for me.
And on that note.
I've lost my ass. He's found his.
Yeah, he gained your ass.
But we love it. We love you, V-Shred. We love everybody over there, Carly, Allie, and Corinne, and Vincent. We love you and all the team. It is a big team that does those ads. You'll see it on YouTube. It'll pop. It probably popped up on your screen today while you were getting ready to watch a show. If you,
Susan, out of everything that Drew and you have done, that is that one I get asked about the most. If I go into a doctor, the doctor's like, hey, wait, that's Dr. Drew. He's the one from those V-Shred ads, right? My aunts, my cousins, my uncle, everybody's like, yeah, this ad popped up in my Facebook feed and it's your guy, Dr. Drew. I'm like, yes, everyone has seen it. Everyone knows.
The real deal?
It's the real. Yeah, and they asked me, is it real or AI?
Yeah, and Vince he started it when he was 20 and he's now 30 and he's made millions of dollars. They're all like, but it is the real deal and it's super easy. You don't have to be like super flexible to do it, or
I mean, there ain't no way I'm doing it. I'm not working out every single day.
I do it. It's like 30 minutes a day.
That's too much for some days. I lay in bed the whole day.
Yeah, well, when you start doing it, you feel like doing it. You're like, oh,
some days I get 10,000 steps. Some days I get negative steps somehow.
Yeah, but 10,000 steps is unreachable for me.
It is unreachable. It's so hard without a walking pad.
There's no way. I go to Europe and I walk all day. I still can't meet 10,000.
There's a guy I know that gets 30,000 steps a day. I'm like, that is so crazy. He has a job where he walks a lot, but I'm like, I can barely get 10K.
No.
I'm lucky if I get 5,000 a day.
That's unattainable. I couldn't do it. So, Kaleb and I are behind the desk here a lot. So I have a Pilates machine downstairs. I go on, I do that.
Yeah, Pilates is my favorite.
But we have weights in our house, but you don't have to. You can use bands. You can just... you can buy some cheap, you can just have a mat and some bands and some weights and you can do it. It's not, you don't have to have a gym. If you go to the gym, you can just go on your phone and follow it. You don't have to hire somebody at $100 an hour. It's, and you get it into a routine and it just feels good. And now like I know all the routines. So I just do whatever. Okay, today I need to work on my ass because it looks flat or whatever. And I need to work.
It's ingrained in you.
Yeah.
It's just automatic.
Yeah, and I learned
feel like
everything.
Susan's trying to recruit us into a cult.
I know.
Yeah, I am.
She's going to learn how to diabetic.
Susan's she's the perfect leader for this because it's becoming culty, which means it really works.
I am completely blown away that I'm at the weight I'm at. I could
It's like you
not
found a religion and you're so excited. It's like you just found God and you can't stop talking about it. It must really work.
I'm so happy with it. So I want everybody to take a look at it. If you are in the mood to, get cute for the summer and put on that bathing suit again, I swear to God, you'll be happy you did. But I mean, seriously, I always gain weight in March, and it's just not happening this year. So I'm going on. I can't wait to see everybody.
And your life does get better when you look better. Things open up, portals open up.
I mean, I still look good. I just had kind of I could see it like here, and here, but I couldn't see what was behind me. But apparently there was about.
You have a husband for that.
I don't know if you see Vince. He's going, this is what 20 pounds of fat or 10 pounds of fat looks like. It's like this huge thing, and it's heavy. We've done ads with it. These big pieces of fat. that was in my body. I can't believe I lost 4 of those. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
I got one of my boobs each, and then the rest, I do miss them. But that's the only good thing about being fat. I think Drew misses them too. You only get this on my news channel talking about my boobs.
Yeah.
But okay, so anyways, next week we'll be back. There's a potential guest here coming in. Somebody who was canceled in the media, who's a very well-known celebrity that Robin's working on. And hopefully when I'm in New York, I'll be able to get this together. And hopefully we'll see you again next week. And we will be on X again because I'm going to miss that audience. We're going to have to send everybody over to Rumble, Kaleb. So
yeah, I don't know what's going on with X today.
And maybe take some clips
Elon's
of the show.
Probably doing something over
I'd
there.
like to free Wendy. I'd like to post some of the clips on my X and also on Drew's X. And with that, I appreciate everybody. Thank you, Kaleb. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Emily, for putting this together this week, because I almost gave up on Sunday, but it did all come together.
Out. It always comes together.
I let them pull this one out of their asses for me, and I'm glad I came. So thanks again, everybody, for listening, and share if you care, because we really appreciate it. And check out our sponsors at drdrew.com/sponsors. Stay for the ads and see what else you can get that is Dr. Drew approved. And with that, I will let Kaleb go.
The Wellness Company knows that taking charge of your family's healthcare is a top priority, and that is why they are constantly innovating to deliver the products and services to help you be rationally ready for an emergency. They've added a medical kit for kids to treat over 20 childhood illnesses: nausea, vomiting, allergies, asthma, bioterror, God forbid, croup ear infections, lice, and more. And you can also order the kids kit with an EpiPen. Carefully sourced, great price. If there's a risk of anaphylaxis for your kids, you want that EpiPen. That can be in all kits, each customized for a different purpose. It comes, of course, with a telemedicine consultation and a guidebook, and you can replenish the meds up to 2 years after the date of purchase. So go to drdrew.com/2WC for 10% off any medical emergency kit or supplements. That is drdrew.com/TWC.